Tonight at 11, tragedy striking the law enforcement community as a second Metro Atlanta deputy dies in the line of duty in less than a week.
So tonight, the Coweta County Sheriff's Office is remembering the life of Deputy Eric Minix. Police said that he was hit and killed on Interstate 85 at the end of a pursuit that crossed into Alabama late last night. And his death comes just a day before agencies all across the country come together to say goodbye to Spalding County Sergeant Mark McIntyre. The 57-year-old was shot and killed while responding to a domestic dispute last night. And tonight, 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn is live in Coweta County. He's right outside the sheriff's office. Cody, a lot of people hurting tonight all across those communities.
Ron and Jennifer, gut-wrenching for the men and women who put on a uniform every single day. And as far as the men and women across this county, they're just trying to process this tremendous loss. And as you can see behind me right here, the flag at half-staff as many of them walk in and out of this building. But a lot of them will be waking up in the morning to help escort their fallen brother in blue over in Spalding County to his final resting spot. And sadly, then preparing to do this all over again in just 72 hours. Overnight, Coweta County Deputy Eric Minix's body was escorted back to Noonan after he was killed nearly 50 miles away just across the state line in Alabama. He was pursuing a stolen vehicle down I-85 south until spike strips forced the driver to stop. As Deputy Minix was getting out of his car, an officer from Lynette Police in Alabama hit Deputy Minix. Only the second Coweta County deputy ever killed on the job, leaving his boss with very few words.
Eric, he's like family to each and every one of us. His whole family, yes.
A tight-knit agency.
He is very much loved. He was a friend, a father, a son, a brother. But most of all, he was a law enforcement officer first. That's all he ever wanted to do.
Waking up, putting on a badge, knowing it may be his last day.
What these men and women do each and every day is dangerous.
A reminder this past week when just a county over, Spalding County Deputy Sergeant Mark McIntyre was shot and killed responding to a domestic disturbance, a call he's responded to dozens of times, but on December 29th, it would be his last dispatch.
There's a reason they're in this job, and they know the consequences. It can happen at any time, but they do it anyway.
The sheriff describing Deputy Minix as one of those deputies every agency would want on their patrol.
He is the epitome of what we work for here at Coweta County Sheriff's Office, who is dedicated to the county to make sure things are safe here for the citizens.
A place his family has called home for decades, a name many around here recognized long before his last ride home. And I can guarantee there are very few times that any sheriff across the state has gotten on TV and cried about one of their officers, and I'm sure for Sheriff Wood, this should be his last time ever doing that. Now, we can tell you Deputy Minix's funeral is set for Monday morning, and we know Sergeant McIntyre's is tomorrow morning. We'll be following that closely. Now, just real quick, I do want to remind folks you've been asking on social media if Coweta County will be on Patrol Live. It's a show that follows these men and women every Friday night live in the streets. I reached out to the production team tonight. They say that decision will be made at some point tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tough time for those communities tonight.